Good evening, everyone. Thank you, delegates and panelists, for joining this session on time. My name is Gopal Krishna Anand, Associate Editor of OEM Update magazine. I welcome you all to the OEM Update magazine's interactive session on supply chain optimization shaping smart factories. My colleague, Ms. Rajeshwari from editorial of OEM Update magazine, will introduce the panelists and tell you more about this interactive session. I welcome Ms. Rajeshwari to take over and moderate the session.
Thank you, Mr. Gopal. Hello, everyone, and welcome to OEM Update Magazine's interactive session on supply chain optimization shaping smart factories. The adoption of automation is now necessary to optimize production and supply chain efficiency. Automation with digital data connectivity for supply chain optimization holds much relevance. An uninterrupted supply chain involves digital and traceability solutions that detect product defects and enhance production efficiency. Product counterfeiting can impact lost revenues and negative reputations for brands. The anti-counterfeit solutions identify products with tampered labeling and any supply chain irregularity, thus providing end-to-end visibility in the supply chain. Innovative solutions addressing measures that shape smart factories must be deployed across supply chain networks. Certainly, barcodes, tags, and GPS tracking solutions help to achieve growth in supply chain transparency in many sectors. The pharma sector is the most sensitive to solutions for packaging, labeling, distribution, etc. Logically, traceability solutions enhance supply chain authenticity by employing intelligent sensors. Robotics processes improve optimization and eliminate defective products going to waste, thus creating a robust supply chain network. On this note, today we have come together to witness an engaging interactive session on supply chain optimization shaping smart factories. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and a privilege for me to introduce you to today's distinguished speakers. Dr. Vijay Kalantri, President, All India Association of Industries. Mr. Amitabh Chaturvedi, Founder and Director, InnovoPoint Infotech Private Limited. Mr. Rizwan Khan, Sales Manager India, Supply Point System. Mr. Anil Sagar, Director, Renata Envirocom Private Limited. And Mr. Pritesh Singh with NRI Consulting and Solutions India Private Limited. I also invite Mr. Gopal Anand to join us for this session.
Thank you, Rajeshwari. Yes, gentlemen, with new technology interventions, manufacturing industry is accelerating and automating with Industry 5 and 5C. Dr. Vijay, what technology recommendations would you suggest?
Today's interesting discussion on supply chain system and the role of technology. And India has been going in for digitization. We are talking of digitization in India. And technology is a process which from time to time, if you do not improve your technology, whether it is a supply chain system or whether in manufacturing or in any form, then you are left out. And then you lose out on the business and people say he did not improve his technology, it's absolute technology he's using, he is not able to perform because his absolute technology, he is not able to give us a quality because of absolute technology. So technology is an ongoing process which needs to be improved from time to time. You keep acquainted with the happenings in the world, where the new technologies are being used and what best you can use for your products. For example, pharma it is here, but for any product that may be, it's applicable. Of course, in pharma, there is a process. In every manufacturing item, there is a process. Whether you call it raw material to manufacturing to packaging, labeling, delivery, and network throughout the distributors or in whichever way. So in any form, we need to develop our technology, digitization. Today, like in supply chain system, if you do not improve your technology, like we are talking about transport, today India cost to GDP is 6.3%, whereas the world cost of is 3.4%. So, not question of technology, yet question of bad road, bad communication, bad network. So either way it may be. But technology has improved over the years. And those companies which have improved the digitization use and made a use of best technology have succeeded and have succeeded well. Pharma industry, like during COVID time, we said that India has made a brand name in pharma. Earlier we had made a brand name in IT. Similarly, now we have made a brand name in pharma sector. Similarly, we can make brand name in all sectors. If you are innovative, if you improve the technology, and you go for digitization. These are three interlinked, but they are all three important for improving your supply chain system. Of course, technology, one has to use the best. In times to come, everybody wants to use the best technology. It also sees how one can afford. Sometimes I may have the best technology and the best product, but I'm not able to market well. If I'm not able to reach the market, or acceptability of the product is not there in the people, then there's no value. So that time somebody may say he came before time. Like in many areas, some of the products and some of the people have come before time. Like I'll just give an example of one media company only, like a business India TV. It came before time and it made heavy losses. If you would have come after 5 years, you would have been better. So many technologies, like in India, for India, what is the best suited technology? So you have to see that. And for international market, what is the best suited technology? Innovation, technology, all these are ongoing process. And every company should opt for it. And I feel that pharma sector has done well as far as the technology is concerned. Various other engineering, auto sector, today we are doing well in most of the sectors. And fortunately, next 10 years or next decade is India's decade. But if we do not be innovative, if we improve technology, if we do not go for more digitization, we'll be left out. So if we are thinking of we are going to grow this year at 6.5% to 7% or 7.2%, then next year 8%, we may even go up to 13%. But then your technology, supply chain system, networking, digitization has to be in place. And if system is in place, then automatically you will improve well. You'll perform well, you'll do well, and world will accept. If not, then sometimes people tend to lose the market. And if we lose the market once, it's very difficult to get the market again. This year, fortunately, we are doing exports. We have crossed 400 crores, 400 billion. And this was a target we have achieved first time. And after that, 100 billion in food products and others, we have been able to get. Because we exported wheat and all Ukraine war. And the supply chain also has been disrupted because of Ukraine-Russia war. That everybody knows. In that, you can't use any technology, nor you can come either way or this way, because it's a Ukraine-Russia war which has affected the system, and that supply chain system has affected many countries. Like even in between, like for car, we did not get chips, so the delivery of the car was delayed. So one product, whether in supply chain system, you may have the best technology, best thing, but if you lose out on one product, or in the supply chain system, if you're not, everything does not fall in line, then you lose out everywhere. So I feel that technology and everybody should opt for the best technology and supply chain system to be in the market and be a leader in the market and be on a positive thinking, innovative at all. Thank you. I think I have said this, and more interaction I will join you later.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vijay, for enlightening your views about the progress and the future. Mr. Amitabh, what is your vision of a smart factory in the present times?
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you very much, OEM Update, for inviting me here, and thank you, Rajeshri and Gopalji, for having me here. My vision to smart factory. So we are in smart factory for last 5 years, and we are into IT industry for 17 years. So that experience has helped me form my opinion, and I've been interacting with the industry leaders for a long time. I look at smart factory from various angles, or at least the vision for smart factory. Very obvious angle is the data side. The second angle is the human aspect. And the third, I'll take the overall. So let's take the first one, which is data. For me, a smart factory is factory which can give me real-time accurate data for my entire operation. In very simple terms, just to start with, I see a 3-stage process. So the first stage is what I'm talking about, and when I say all operations, I mean end-to-end operations. So if we take example of an automotive component, so we are currently focused on automotive machine shops and assembly line. So let's take example of a component. It's a pressure die casting component. So right from the pressure die casting to maybe heat treatment to machining and all the way to the customer end. So if I get real-time accurate data of how my operations are being performed, when I say data, it's not only production data, it's not only quality data, it's also how my assets are doing, so machine data, the operator data, all sorts of data which is important to me. So that availability of that data is what I call the first stage towards the smart factory, and that I call a mirror stage. That means I have a mirror, a real-time accurate mirror of my factory, how well or how good or bad I'm doing as a factory. So that's stage number one. Now, once we have the data, we take to the next level, which is I want to now use that data to start optimizing my shop. So take the data and improve the quality. For example, which is what we are doing at various places, is we integrate the real-time gauges. So if I have a line, I have multiple gauges and they are all integrated real-time. As the part is moving between different operations, we now bring a process control into place where every time I check whether this particular piece, and this piece I'm talking critical parts where they have individual serial numbers, so QR code. So 5C kind of parts, the engine block, engine head, the connecting rod and such 5C. So talking about the process control, so we, whenever we check at one gauge, we look at its history, whether this particular part was passed or was okay at the previous stages or not. So this is one such example of how we utilize the data. Another example which we all talk about is OE improvement or productivity improvement. So the point is, now we are using this data to optimize. So that's the second level of smart factory vision. The third level is, in the previous one we are optimizing by ourselves. The third is where we are letting the system optimize, because now we have enough amount of data of our operations, our factory and assets and everything. Now we using the artificial intelligence or using various other technologies, now we can let system tell us in advance, maybe predictive maintenance, maybe predictive tool changes or whatever it is, or maybe various insights which system generates. So this is, so in a nutshell, when I talk about the data angle, this is my vision of the smart factory, which is giving me a real-time view, which I can actionable data, which I can work upon, and my system also helps me. The second piece is the human side. Now, and I always say to all my clients that human side is the most important aspect of having a successful smart factory. So it's the team, or it's the awareness of the technology in the team, and in such a way that they appreciate the availability of accurate and real-time data. They get excited, or they have the creativity or the desire to use that data to solve their problems, to bring the improvements, to bring the optimization. So that is the second part of second angle, as I say. The overall, if I talk about the vision, is once we have everything in place, not everything, it's a continuous process, we'll keep on improving, but once we have most of the system in place, I think that the smart factory would be, or should be rather, should be able to answer these questions in the real time. If as a manager, I want to know why I am producing something, how I am producing something, who is producing it, where I am producing it, how well I am producing it in terms of efficiency, quality, and then can I do better? So when we look at this, the system, any kind of system, any tool, platform, whatever we bring to bring the smart factory concept, we should be able to answer these questions, which should have the complete story of my shop floor, why I'm doing something and how well I'm doing it. So this is the kind of vision that I carry. I'm continuously improving my vision, but this is the vision I share with my clients, and we create our roadmap of SFOC on these kind of visions, or this vision rather, is we bring various aspects into our system, which helps us perform various optimization, or it makes it easy for the user to work on optimization process. So that's how I think about it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amitabh. Process and innovation that has to keep on going. In this context, country is moving from industry 4 to industry 5. How do you look at the demand for IIoT, AI, and robotics for smart manufacturing?
So I think if we talk about India, people are still trying to understand what Industry 4.0 can do for them. So although industry experts have started talking about 5G and Industry 5.0, but I think we are still quite behind in really using the technology which is available with us and meaningfully using it. So most of our customers are still in the inquiry zone. They are starting slow in various areas of manufacturing. And since we are talking about supply chain management out here, so that is one of the key aspects and one of the most, I think, key areas where IoT, industrial IoT, Industry 4.0 are being used. So supply chain management and manufacturing, they are key areas right now for both these technologies. So for example, for some of the customers that we are working for, they are looking at getting data from various machines, whether it be conventional machine or a CNC machine or even a robot, right? So they are trying to explore how they can use the technology and the data to optimize the operations. So optimization of operations helps both in, let's say, reduction of cost, helps in the quality of product, better quality of product. And then I've seen people seeing really good enhancement in revenue as well. For example, one of the customers for which we had deployed Industry 4.0 solution, they saw 15% increase in the revenue. I mean, that was beyond expectation. It was such a small solution that we gave them. Just a view on the downtime of the machines across a whole line inspired the people to really take on higher utilization of machine, and they were able to produce one more container of steel wires, which was almost like $30,000 in a month. So people are starting to use these technologies. So Industry 4.0 is definitely there. Industrial IoT is a complementary technology, which basically is I would say superset in some sense. But then other than machinery, wherever we want to use IoT solutions to optimize, for example, utilities, the energy part of it, the gas that we use, the compressed air that we use, the water that we use in a factory. So we can optimize all of them. We can use industrial IoT for security as well. We can use industrial IoT for so many other things, right? So people are now starting to use industrial IoT as well. Energy management was the first area where people started using it, and now it is expanding into various other utilities and sensors, including environmental sensors and so on. Given the kind of pollution that we have, people are starting to look at that as well in their own premises. Government is also trying to get data from these companies regarding borewell water usage and so on and so forth. So everybody is becoming more and more aware, and they have started to use industrial IoT as a technology to improvise on various aspects. And finally, robotics is a key area. Wherever people are using robots, whether for welding or for other aspects, they are trying to use data to optimize the operations of the robot as well, because robot by themselves are not going to achieve whatever you want to achieve. You do have to optimize them as well. You do have to use their data as well to optimize the overall production. So I've seen in the industry, all three areas are being warmed up, and a lot of people are using it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Anil. Definitely, IoT is the superset over the technologies. Mr. Rizwan, according to you, what is end-to-end visibility in the supply chain?
So first of all, thank you and good afternoon to all of you from my side. I'm Rizwan from Supply Point Systems. I'm working here as Sales Manager India, handling Indian operations for Supply Point. Now, it's been an interesting agenda today for me, because I have been, going through a lot of discussions with our customers on how to optimize the production, on how to optimize the efficiency, and how to make a better use of the entire workplace. So Amitabh sir, you talked about factory automation. That's the foremost point where our MSME and the small scale industries are also looking forward to have these kind of solutions at their end. So it's not only about the larger industries or the larger scale, larger cap industries who are looking into this, but yes, I believe 80% of the industry where MSME is occupying the stake, and they are looking forward to get into this. Now, when we look at the end-to-end visibility, see, as a manager or a general manager or a CEO of a company, I would really look forward to have a transparency and control over my entire supply chain process. So where is my real-time reports. So we have been talking about the real-time reports. So what is my livestock? What are the current consumptions going on in the factory as on to date? So if I'm sitting here right now talking to you, I should have a dashboard in front of me where I can, actually see what is my live consumption of the different parameters. So it could be machines, it could be my toolings, it could be the processes, people, man hours being invested, and all those things. So yes, when we talk about end-to-end visibility, see, this is more about having a close and a micro level control on the material movement that is happening around in your factory. So when I say a micro level control, so it's right from your inventory where the GRN is generated, how it has been, tracked and stored in your stores or your stock area, whatever it is, how it moves on to the production floor, from the production floor, how they have been consumed, who has taken how many of those items on what job, what machine, or there are n number of questions that you need to identify. And that's when you come to the real-time consumption, real-time parameters that are being measured on day in and day out. So end-to-end management, I believe it's all about procuring the raw material to a pre-order, or I would rather say an order management system. So if my system is well controlled, I can have a better ordering mechanism for myself. So that's where I believe end-to-end visibility is there. And definitely when we talk about end-to-end systems, there are such kind of smart systems that have been offered to the industry, where we have been working for past 30 years in across the globe. In India, we have been active for past 12 odd years, and we do have such kind of success stories where if we are not increasing the revenue, but we are helping the customers to have their bottom line savings. Having a bottom line savings is definitely, you are adding up your capital to the operations. So that's what I would say. And in the upcoming slides, I would be more clear on how we can look at the end-to-end visibility and these solutions.
Thank you, Mr. Rizwan, for highlighting about the end-to-end visibility. Mr. Pritesh, sir, what new digital solutions are evolving to detect product defects that enhance production efficiency?
Here, I would like to talk about two things, sir. One is in terms of there is a very important trend which is emerging in terms of overall supply chain efficiency. It's simple, but it's extremely important, which is called as the asset tracking. So you choose your physical layer or gateway layer or platform layer. I'm taking the example as of now, maybe deliveries from one place to another place, by several hard years, because now the challenge is initially pre-COVID in terms of the volatility or in terms of the management of generated data or visibility probably was not as big concern as it became post-COVID. So a lot of simple solutions are being deployed, digital solutions, which are basically able to address such challenges in the one transporting probably some items from one place to another place. This is one example. Second example, I would like to talk about electrification part. So in electric vehicles, there are a lot of digital solutions emerging. So which can basically are addressing the faults in the vehicle. For example, let's say one vehicle is going from for last mile delivery from one place to another place. There is some potential challenge probably in terms of batteries or in terms of motors or in some other part of the component, even in the vehicle. So those are also being detected. And the solutions are mostly developed by organizations which have a legacy experience in working on such technologies. And obviously vehicle threat vehicle are being kind of moved without the consent of the owner from one place to other place. So those kind of new technologies are also emerging by using geofencing and all to detect those vehicles.
Thank you, Mr. Pritesh, for highlighting about this and the new era in the electrical vehicles.
How does digital smart hardware and recurring software hiring initial costing implication on wide acceptability? This question is for Mr. Anil.
So basically the question is, that since new solutions are having initial investment on the hardware and then there are recurring charges on the software piece, won't that impact the acceptability of the solution? So that is the question. So my answer to that is that almost for almost like 10 years or more, companies like Salesforce, Gmail, even Microsoft Windows have moved in that direction. So if you use their services, you have to pay monthly charges. But at the same time, you get much better service because you are not stuck with Windows 7 for let's say 10 years. You get free upgrades and you get the latest software, and your investment is not sunk. Right. So in my experience, what I've seen in the industry is that people do on-premise systems. Wherever it is required, we should do that. But wherever it is just done for the sake of it or for a let's say sense of control, I think we should question it because in my experience, I've seen cases where there was system which was deployed on let's say Windows 7, but when it was upgraded to Windows let's say 10, then it stopped working and there was nobody to support that upgrade. And there was, I mean, the investment which customer made was completely sunk. The people who knew how to operate that system, they left the company. There was nobody else to look at that solution. Even if you go there and try and understand that solution, how to let's say upgrade it and so on, nobody's there to let's say put a light on that. So you don't want to be in that kind of situation. Rather than putting a lot of money upfront, it is always better to let's say see the rental kind of scenario where you pay for the use and you pay for the customization according to your convenience. So that's where industry is heading, and there's a lot of acceptability in the market. Indian customers are also accepting it right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anil. Coming to close this session, I would request each and every one of you to give a closing statement for the same. So, Mr. Anil, starting with you. Would you like to say something?
We have been working in this industry for almost like 7 years, and in the recent years, last 2 years or so, there has been so much interest in these technologies. Everybody wants to, let's say, remotely monitor the machines, the equipments, the assets, and in fact, we have provided solutions which does remote control as well. One of the customers that we have, they make compressors and they send it to, I mean, they make CNG compressors, which goes to the CNG station. And the end customers are GAIL, IGL, Gujarat Gas, and so on and so forth. So earlier, if there was an issue on that appliance, they would have to send a person, which will take a lot of time, a lot of money, and so on. That compressor is controlled by a PLC. It has got an HMI. We have completely taken that control onto web with 6 layers of security, and people can, I mean, the service engineer doesn't have to go onto the site. He can completely operate that compressor remotely, and that is the kind of power that we are seeing. I mean, it has completely given them a new revenue stream to the customer. Forget about the cost. They were able to win that tender because they were able to provide that service. So that is the kind of, let's say, interest which is there in the industry right now. And we are seeing amazing use cases, which I've shared, and a lot of opportunity there right now, a lot of interest. So it's really exciting.
Thank you, Mr. Anil. Mr. Pritesh, would you like to say something to close the session? A closing statement would work.
Thanks, Rajeshwari. I think experts on the panel will agree on this, that the Industry 4.0 or the FIoT 4.0, what we call, has widely been penetrated, and there are so many use cases. And Indian companies are also doing much better than, I think, the global organizations in providing the solutions and taking the lead role. So in last, I think, 8 to 10 years, that has been amazing development. My only observation is that, the upcoming of, so the debates around electric vehicles has now been very sorted, and it's that the electric in India. So now the yes or no question has gone. It is yes. So with this yes, digital solutions are going to play a big role actually. Obviously, currently there are limited number of use cases because of the limited number of sales and people or the organizations not willing to pay. But the vehicle issues and the challenges which are there, they can't be solved actually without the implementing digital solutions. So I think industry service providers should also gear up and develop solutions so that they take lead in this area also. Till the time their global giants come and try to take the lead. That's it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pritesh. Mr. Amitabh, what about you? A line of statement to conclude the session.
I would just say that these are very exciting times when we as a nation is trying to become the global manufacturing hub. All the participants, we all are, we are doing our bit. We are focusing on helping manufacturing to do better. Every participant here, there. So it's very, very interesting time. And as Anil said, there are so many use cases. I'm very happy about the fact that the awareness is amazing in the industry. 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, when we were starting, we were thinking that first we have to make people aware. But we were really surprised that the forum like yours and other industry bodies, they have done an amazing job to bring the awareness. And now we are seeing the early adopters have started investing, and the good thing about it is in many cases the ROIs are very, very quick. So I think people are seeing great results, and that is what keeping us excited. And there are a lot of challenges which we are solving it with the technology, and that's it. So thank you very much. It's a great time to be around at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Amitabh. Mr. Rizwan, would you like to close the statement?
See, I would thank you everybody who have contributed from their part of the segment, and it was a good learning for me today, wherein I get to meet industry experts, Mr. Amitabh, Mr. Pritesh, Mr. Anil, and of course Vijay sir. So there are a lot of takeaways for all of us, I believe, today, and I think we all should have a small to-do list for all of us, wherein we should see how we can encourage the industry and help the industry to come up with such kind of solutions within, no matter the size of the industries, because if we think about digitalization, we can do it in a small 10 by 10 workshop as well. But it's just that we need to have that kind of exposure and that kind of reach within the industry. So as rightly said, we all should create more awareness in the industry and see how better we can enable the industry to perform more better, much better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rizwan. Thank you, panelists, for exchanging valuable thoughts on today's supply chain optimization shaping smart factories topic. We hope you enjoyed the session thoroughly. Before wrapping up today's session, we would like to thank our distinguished panelists, Dr. Vijay Kalantri, Mr. Amitabh Chaturvedi, Mr. Anil Sagar, Mr. Rizwan Khan, and Mr. Pritesh Singh. I would also like to thank Mr. Gopal Anand for taking up this initiative. We request our delegates and viewers to stay connected with us on our social media handles. OEM Update magazine is available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also download our app from Google Play and App Store. So with this, we would like to announce the closing of today's session. Request you to stay tuned for more such sessions. Thank you and goodbye.